Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Today, I would like to present my mid-practical reflection for phase 2. Okay, here is my detail. My name is Nurul Zamzarif binti Zamzuri. I teach in SK Damat Ceram Tuk Pahang. My supervisor is Sir Azman bin Muhammad Noor, and the class that I teach is 6 Al-Farabi. I only teach a single class, which is 6 Al-Farabi only. Okay, moving on to the prior knowledge and skill implemented. As we all know, this practicum is a PDBR practicum, full PDBR practicum. So I believe that I implemented these 3 skills while teaching with my students. Okay, the first one is ICT Teaching Method. The second one is simulation teaching. The third one is 21st century skills strategy. Okay, let's go through the first one, which is ICT Teaching Method. So basically, I implemented the technologies that we all know and have the access to and create my material. Utilizing the ICT to teach using multiple platforms such as YouTube, WhatsApp, PowerPoint, and Google Meet. These platforms are effectively used to cover the presentation stage of a lesson. Okay, the presentation stage of a lesson is the stage where we where we prepare our input of the lesson, which means the material, what we are going to teach for that day. Okay, from this picture you can see, this is the example of a PowerPoint slide that I prepare in order to teach a grammar item, which is either or and neither nor. These are correlative conjunctions, and this is the list of YouTube videos that I created as my lessons material, and this is the example of a Google Meet that I had with my students. Google Meet session. Okay, why ICT? First and foremost, it is because it is accessible for teacher, which is myself, and also the pupils. This means that with a single click, my student will be able to access my lessons material. And then the second reason, because it is free to be used, which means that I does not need, and my student also does not need any special memberships or VIP cards in order to use these platforms. The audience will comprehend a lesson if they receive an effective input from the teacher despite not having face-to-face interaction. So to put it simply, this technology platform cover the needs for face-to-face interactions that are lacking from the PDBR teaching. Okay, the second skill that I implemented is simulation teaching. So utilizing the resourceful internet to create a simulation using Google Maps. The method is excellent for practicing a given direction activity. So I use Google Maps. Okay, how do I use Google Maps? So this lesson is about giving direction. So first and foremost, I give them a scenario, which is relatable and familiar with them. One evening you are buying ice cream at Mumpaga Fresh. Suddenly a very tall foreigner approaches you. She asks for direction to SK Damak from Mumpaga Fresh. As a proud Damak student, you cannot turn her away. Okay, so Mumpaga Fresh is considered as the hot place in Damak, so every single Damak student definitely know that place. Okay. In order to help them complete with answering this question, I give them a Google map from Mumpaga Fresh to SK Damak. Okay. Okay, why I use simulation teaching? First, because it is relatable to the pupils, since I use places and also maps that are recognized by them, so they will be able to relate to the activity. Second, it increases students' understanding towards the topics. Once again, because they recognize the place, they will be able to use all of the verb, giving direction verb that I already taught before effectively. And then, other thing is that new skill. I actually taught my student a new skill, which is map reading. Okay, so basically, the audience will more likely remember a lessons after they try to solve a relatable and possible scenario. Okay, so someone, audience, which is our student, will be more likely to remember the lesson if they solve something that are relatable to them, which is the places that they remember, and then the possible scenario. It is not impossible for them to meet a foreigner in Bangladesh. It could happen, so it is actually a possible scenario. Okay, the third skills that I implemented is 21st century skills strategy. Apply one of the 21st century strategies, which is ICT map. It works for production stage of a lesson. The pupil deduce the information gathered into a simple map. Okay, so the idea of the ICT map is brilliant for a production stage, which means that a stage that students need to create something where they apply all of the things that they already learned. Okay, from the picture here, you can see this is a Jamboard, but more clearly, this is a double bubble map, which is have the similarity and also differences. As for this is actually not one of the ICT map, but it is a Venn diagram that I create because I think it is more appropriate than double bubble map. And then last but not least, this is a tree map. So all of these are important to teach about concept to the pupils. Okay, why I think map? First and foremost, pupils can showcase deep comprehensions towards the lessons. Since I think map is used during the production stage, the teacher will be able to check students' understanding on the lessons by reviewing their map. Okay, next, it is able to convert the map into longer text and convert the long text into a map. So using iThink Map, it is very versatile because we can either start the lessons with a map and ask the student to create a text out of it, or we can actually start the lesson with a long text and ask the students to create a map out of it. So it works vice versa. Okay, so basically, using iThink Map, the audience will be able to process the knowledge effectively and retain their comprehensions longer. Okay, new knowledge and skill discovered. Okay, here is PDBI lesson, the first one. The second one is a PDBI Coco, and the last one is HOTS, which is high order thinking skill. Okay, the PDBI lesson is nothing new. It's just something that new to me because some of these I've never used before. It is the ever so famous quizzes, Jamboard, live worksheets, and also word wall. The second thing is PDBI co-curriculum. It is quite new because how would we do a co-curriculum using a PDBI? Okay, lucky for me, my school are quite active with their co-curriculum, so they occasionally do some Google Meets for it. They also have online quizzes where they ask the students to compete with one another, and the winner will get the prizes. Okay, the last new skill that I acquired during this practicum session is HOTS, which is high order thinking. I know that HOTS is nothing new, but I just discovered that there are actually many ways to use them. Okay, the first thing is that I can give an out of the box question, which is a question that is unthinkable by the students, but still will be able to give them a wider understanding towards the concept of what I was teaching. As the second thing is that I can use it as set induction. Means like I can use HOTS question to introduce my topic. Okay, this is an example. Let's wonder, what will we use to communicate if all of the gadget in the world disappear? Okay, the answer for this is talking and also writing a letter. And that's how I introduce writing a letter as my topic of the day. Okay, lastly, I can use HOTS as a closure. Means like I can actually use high order thinking to make the student think deeply into the lessons. And then can also make them actually interpret the lesson by thinking of the value out of it. Okay, for example, if you're in big trouble who is the first person in your family that you will call and why? Okay, from this question, they will think of one person, and then this will teach them that the importance of a family member in their life. Okay, innovation and creation. The first creation that I did is a phone conversation. I use this phone conversation as an example for me to teach a listening skill. And then the next thing I create is a Venn diagram. Based on the textbook, this is actually a double bubble map, but I convert it into a Venn diagram so that the pupils will be able to copy them easily because there is only two circles rather than multiple circles. And then next, it is a YouTube video. I used to illustrate a poem which is entitled Home. So I give them lots of image for them to understand things stanza by stanza, one by one. Okay, here is the list of comment and reaction that I get from my guru pembimbing and also supervisor. First, my supervisor mentioned to me again that I need to create a friendly English environment. So I frequently use English during my lessons. And then next, I reminded by my guru pembimbing to keep experimenting. Means that I need to try to use other platform, other websites, or other approaches to meet with my students' preferences. Okay, next, I need to be more expressive and responsive. Okay, during my Google Meet session, I was not expressive enough, and can be considered as a boring teacher because I just go slide by slide, and then I'm not responsive with the student either. So I need to work on that. And then last but not least, I need to be confident and in character, in character as a teacher, because of my less confident can be seen through the camera, and the student can see that I was not as confident to teach them, and that will give me a low value in their eyes. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.